Now, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Pumpkins. It is in the reverse here. The Ten of Pumpkins is in the upright. It's about material success, well-being, abundance, great health. Really positive energy like that. Some of you may be having a delay in the onset of your material abundance, meaning you may have put in some kind of work or investment or doing something, but you're not quite at your financial goals just yet. Now, this can also be pertaining to relationship and so on. So, but know that pumpkin's energy, earth energy, tends to be our slowest energy of the four, just generally speaking. And this does not mean it's a no way. It just means there's a delay, right, on that energy. So now this is kind of your overall for the reading, and we will tie it back in here as soon as we can. Okay. Eight of Pumpkins. This is kind of what's been on your mind in the recent past, possibly still in the present tense, but moving into the past, you've been hard at work. Lots of industry here. And again, this, when we tie it with this Ten of Pumpkins, it could be that you're making product, but yet you haven't sold a bunch of it just yet. But give it time, because in time, good things will happen for you. So you're putting in lots and lots of hard work, it usually in your material life when it pertains to pumpkins, but we'll see how the other cards play out a little bit. I do feel for some of you, this may be romantic. So let me interpret it that way. You may be putting or may have been putting, mental work into your relationship with somebody, whatever that looks like. Now, Seven of Imps here in the reverse. In the upright, this is about moving on. You'll see that they're kind of milling down the road. You got your homies there. Not sure what's coming up ahead here. There's some hesitation and curiosity. Two of the people are looking at you to figure out what to do here. This one in the front is saying, hey, let's check out that house on the hill. Warm, cozy, inviting house or spooky haunted house. We don't really know yet. These guys are either blissfully ignorant or optimistic. And this person, the little one, I think that's the one that's supposed to represent you, is kind of like, maybe, maybe. In the reverse position, though, this can indicate a difficulty with moving on from something, moving away to something, because the future's unknown to you in that. So some of you may be doing all this kind of hard work, but yet there's something that you're struggling to move away from. I also am getting a sense that, there may be some of you who are saying, but I've been putting all this hard work in. Why is it not? Why are my pumpkins not manifesting? And just like in this card here, there's the Seven of Pumpkins, which is, doing the work and waiting for the pumpkin harvest to ripen. So that you can harvest it. There's a delay to what is coming. This may be related to your indecision to move on from something that may be taxing you. Excuse me. So it could be that part of what's happening is you may be holding on to something that's not in your best benefit. But let's take a look and see where that's going. Because, sometimes things fill in as we keep moving. All of a sudden there's sort of that aha. Now, in the present tense, or could be in the immediate future about to roll into your mind frame, is a sense of romanticization. Is that a word? Romanticizing the past. But this can also indicate soulmates, friends from the past who come into play, maybe a reunion of some kind, but can be soulmates. You'll see that these two, it's almost like their inner children love each other. Somebody from the past in a literal sense, past lives, somebody coming in, maybe you do or don't know them. It could be that you're hoping for a soulmate. And you've been working really, really hard. Working really hard to build up your coin, to create a place where your new future partner would come into. If you're already in a relationship, it could be that you're hoping to have some kind of a reunion, or maybe you've got something like Thanksgiving on your mind. Believe it or not, how fast is that coming up? Wow. We'll have one more reading between now and Thanksgiving, but wow. Now this energy, 8 of Ghosts in the reverse, I'm going to pull up with the 7 of Imps in reverse. Again, it's this idea that you may be having a difficulty moving away from something that doesn't benefit you any longer. This person's doing it alone, however, and this person had a crowd of friends. But again, there's a sense of solitude or loneliness in that. You'll notice these imps are not wearing costumes, whereas this trick-or-treater is. So it could be that you're putting on a false face for someone, but in the reverse in the imagery, right? You're kind of going along to get along and not moving on. Right? This person needs to move on from something, and they're going to be leaving some part of their emotional life behind them because that's just the way that it is. But there's a decision not to do that, or at least a difficulty in getting to the energy where you're ready to cut your losses and move on. That could be some of the delay in your prosperity, because if you're putting too much emotional work into a situation that is toxic or not helpful for you. And I do want to point out that, when I was shuffling before camera started to roll, this Queen of Imps in the reverse was right there underneath the 10 of Pumpkins, and this card popped out twice. This would be a fire sign like an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but in the reverse, either someone who's got player energy and isn't being true to you, or possibly it could be you're struggling to manifest something that you feel passionate about in the material world. And that could be some of this delay here. Is it that you're wasting some of your resources by chasing a relationship or a situation that's not to your benefit? No, what's that song? It's, oh gosh, it's an old-fashioned country western song. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And that's like the only part of the song I remember. But the point being, be careful that you're not putting good money after bad, so to speak, right? I don't want to beat that dead horse. We'll keep moving, but... Now, some of the foundation of your current situation is this 4 of Imps energy. It could be that you're craving a wedding or a marriage, or it could just be that there's some kind of a celebration that's coming up for you. It could be a Halloween party, could be a marriage or a wedding, could be something like that, right? Maybe you don't want to get rid of you don't want to break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend because of your date to somebody else's wedding. I don't know. I'm just making that up right now. Sometimes things just kind of come in. That wasn't one of them. But again, this idea of a happy reunion, something like that. So getting together with the gals or the guys from your sorority or fraternity, if you have that type of partnership. I need to charge my stereo. The battery died. But anyhow, this is about that kind of a celebration. It's also... though this part of reminiscing about the past, you may be going through some of your history about your past boyfriends or girlfriends, the things that you liked, the things that you didn't like. Something about this celebratory energy is causing you to rethink some of your choices, and that may be fueling some of your desire to move on, even though you're resisting that very impulse to move on. It's hard to leave the past behind us. We may have sentimental attachment for people in our past. But, when things are no longer beneficial for us, we have to kind of take that realistic point of view about what's going on. Now this, in the future, this is kind of what's on your mind. And this is about lots of communication coming in, text messaging, emails, passion. Some of them are, in fact, moving on. And I think that this is going to be the obvious result of some of this other way of thinking. You're going to get your passion up. Libra tend to be very cool, very methodical. I don't mean cool as in cold at all. In fact, I've known some really amazing Libra people. Love Libra. However, you tend to think about things, stew about things a little bit, and then sometimes get the gumption to move on. And I think that may be what's happening here. You kind of have to get your fire up enough. It's like you're feeling the warmth under your feet, but the water's not yet to a boil, not enough to kind of push you forward. And we see here too, we've got this Fool energy in reverse. This is about not letting go. This is either about being foolish or, in the reverse position, or you're not trusting. You're not trusting in this new beginning that can happen for you if you will cut your losses and move on. Whether, again, this could be a business, this could be a romantic relationship or something along those lines, right? Take it as it resonates because it'll be different for everybody. But there does come that point where we just kind of have to know, gotta go, right? Gotta go. If your faith, your lack of faith or lack of trust is flagging, it may be beneficial for you to give yourself some space. Now, Four of Bats is an intellectual suit. That's your swords. Just like you are swords because you're an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is about meditation and retreat, spending some time alone so that you can figure out what's going on. But this is in the reverse. So some of you may be coming out of that energy and some of you need to go into that energy and begin meditating more, giving yourself more time and more space. Not where you're thinking about something to death, but where you stop thinking about it. Now, I've had my best insights, truly, where I was doing something physical, and by that I mean cleaning, organizing, vacuuming, folding socks. It's like when I stop thinking about an issue, that's when I can actually hear spirit come in and say, Val, try this, try that. Or some random saying will pop into my head. This may be some way for you to access what that is. We don't just want to have blind passion with no direction, but sometimes we have to look at what are the things that I love and enjoy? What are the things that I dislike and I don't like? Because they're telling me what I need to know to be able to make choices. My uncomfortable feelings tell me who I am and what I need to do. How do I make a situation right? How do I get unstuck when my mind doesn't want me to move on from something? So take your much needed rest if that's the case. Take that. There is prosperity and abundance coming in, right? There is prosperity and abundance coming in this Ten of Pumpkins, but it's delayed. And sometimes we're the reason behind our delay. If there's a fire sign that's been doing you wrong, cheating and whatnot, and just coming up with a bunch of words and bullshit, and it's not helping you any, cut your losses. I mean, if that's what you need to do. Now, again, take it as it resonates. Some of you may be married, you have kids, whatever the case. I'm not, don't base it on a general reading for corn's sake, but, you may want to spend some time in meditation, rest, retreat, ask. Or again, if you're coming out of that energy, what is it that you want to be able to manifest? What is it that you're waiting for? What's this inverse harvest here that we've been waiting on? What have you been working on? Because you've done a lot of work. This success is coming in for you if you give it enough time, but try to be patient too while you're waiting. And that's one of the hardest things that we can possibly do is be patient while we wait for something new. It's just, I don't know, human beings struggle with that. We always feel like there's no time or like we're in some kind of a hurry. And yet it's like we do have more time than we might think that we do. But sometimes we have to make the decision to carve time. So let me toss our cards here, our oracle cards. I'm working today with the Denise Lynn Sacred Traveler oracle cards. Really a beautiful deck, a gift from a Virgo friend of mine in the recent past. And they have a broad expanse of information that we can learn from. So open that up and hold the card so you can see it. These are such beautiful cards. Like I'm beyond impressed with the artwork in here. Savor your life. Find joy in the moment. No matter what is occurring in your life, if you simply focus on what is splendid, wonderful, and pleasurable in the moment, everything improves. Live deliciously. Love often and live fully. Cherish your friendships. Fill your life with the people, experiences, and places that give you delight and joy. Let go of those people and things that you don't appreciate or empower, you. Let me say that again. Let go of those people and things that don't appreciate or empower you. That's that, possibly that Queen of Wands in reverse. Give yourself permission to be happy. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know when the traveler meets a band of gypsies, the traveler stops to dance into the early morning hours. Oh my gosh, wow. Look at these celebration cards right here. Sorry for the segue, but wow. When the traveler meets a band of gypsies, the traveler stops to dance into the early morning hours. Sometimes we get so caught up wondering what's around the next bend and worrying about our current challenges that we forget to focus on what's great in the moment. You're not meant to simply work hard and be diligent and practical. Embrace pleasure wherever you can. Allow your senses to be satiated. Find and explore the beauty around you. You don't need to suffer to grow. You can grow spiritually by leaps and bounds through joy. Dance, eat well, and drink well. Share joy wherever you can. What a great, great message for you, Libra. What a great message. It's true, right? What was this? You can grow spiritually by leaps and bounds through joy. And it's true because our joy elevates us. It elevates our vibrations. We leave our pain and our doubt and our fear behind us, and we begin to raise our vibration. We can check in with our spiritual resources. I hear spirit better when I'm not worrying to death about every darn thing, because my worry keeps me sunk, and then I become so disconnected from spiritual guidance. And that's anyone. That's anyone. We need to raise our vibrations through our passions and our pleasures. Now, that doesn't mean drinking or using drugs or doing anything irresponsibly, sex, any of it. But it does mean that we can celebrate the fact that we're joyfully alive, that we don't have to check every moment, that we can cut loose and have some fun with friends. Enjoy our time together and think, these are my homies, right? How do I want to be with my peeps, right? What is it about them that I love so much? What is so tight about our sacred bonds that we share? And how do I create sacred bonds with my current and new relationships? Choices, right? Choices. Letting go of the hardships. We may have invested emotional energy in persons, places, and things that are not in our own best interest, but we do have to sometimes leave a little piece of our heart behind us to move on, because we actually won't be leaving anything behind. Not really. At first, yeah, those persons, places, and things will linger on in our memory, but we can heal that and we can release that and we can move on and be fully in our enjoyment. And experience our passion and our pleasure. Savor our life. Yeah, we have time to do this or that or the other thing, but, life is too long, right? It's too long to be surrounded with misery. And then again, it's too short to be cutting ourselves off from the things that really, really make us feel the most connected to our best and truest selves. Learn these lessons now, because they will not leave you. You will be trying to learn this on your deathbed as you're dying of old age. You'll still be trying to learn the same lesson, and you'll think, where did my time go? Why did I squander it worrying about the opinions of people who don't care about me or that treat me like shit? What the hell is that all about? I mean, life really is too long to deal with people like that, and it's way too short to waste a moment on these trifling mofos, right? I just kind of get into that zone. I apologize.